for 6th place, and the first playoff spot, well, the lowest playoff spot, but still, the first one is going to be New York Excelsior, former Luxury Watch Blue team. Their DPS is Sabiobli, I probably butchered that, so their DPS Sabiobli and Libero. Tanks, they have Meko, Janus, and Mono. Their flex, they have Pine. Healers, they have Jonic and Arc. Pine really impressed me, but it seems like they really want him to be a healer, which I'm not sure how that's going to be. New York Excelsior seems to be they seem to be a team that has limited potential, but where they're experienced enough to make a playoff push at the very least. I'm saying that they have limited potential because I wasn't as impressed as I thought I would be by some of their players. Sabiobli played really well for the Korean team, but he didn't seem to do as well for New York as I thought he would. Pine was really the standout player for me, and he was really showing off on Widowmaker, I believe. However, they really seem to want to put him on a healer position instead of DPS. It was him or Libero that were going to the healer. I'm not sure if that's going to be a main problem, because I know one of their 2 healers couldn't play during the preseason, but maybe they want him to be a permanent healer, because I know they wanted one of those 2 like healing for the preseason, which makes sense. You need 2 healers. I'm just not sure where to put New York Excelsior right now, because like I said, their potential seems limited, but they seem experienced enough to make a good push. I was also never impressed with Luxury Watch Blue in the Korean scene. They had 1 3rd place in Apex, but other than that, they always finished 5th through 8th, 5th through 6th in Apex. So I'm not sure how they're going to hold up against some of the higher up teams, but we'll see when the season comes. This is still power ranking, it can obviously change, and I'm probably wrong with some of these. I'm most definitely wrong. Number 5, I put the LA Valiant. Their DPS are Silk Thread, Grim Reality, Agilities, and Soon. For tanks, they have Fate and Numlocked. Flex, they have Envy and Space. Healers, they have Kariv, Verbo, and Unco. So, what LA Valiant has right now is decent DPS. I'm saying decent because Silk Thread, Agilities, and Soon are really good DPS players. However, Grim Reality, I have no idea where you put him. I have no idea when you play him. Soon's a lot better of a Tracer than Grim. Silk Thread is a lot better of a Genji. He's about as good as Agilities, honestly, if not maybe a tiny bit better. I just have no idea where we're going to put Grim. Maybe on Soldier, but I'm pretty sure Agilities can also play Soldier pretty well. I'm not sure where he's going to fit in, and if you're going to have a player there that's not really going to play, I can see problems happening. Their tanks I think they have really solid tanks, especially Numlock and Fate. Yeah, they're both really good tanks. Their flexes, I was really scared to see Envy, but he really played well in the preseason. I thought he was uncoachable, but he seemed to prove me wrong there. And Unco is one of the best one of the best Annas in the league. He's a pretty good Zenyatta too. I'm not sure how much room LA Valiant has really to grow with this team right here, but coming in is the former Immortals roster and then more. They're really seem to be strong in some areas. I'm just not sure if they have a lot of room to grow. Maybe I'm wrong again, but who knows. And now let's get on to the top tier teams. The lowest in the top tier is the Houston Outlaws. Their DPS is Mendo, Clockwork, Spree, Linkzer, and Jake. They have the most DPS players in the league. They were very clear in their intro videos that they really aren't going to use all 5 of them as DPS only players. They're going to move them around. They wanted flexibility. So some of these guys might not only be playing DPS, they might be flex players. For tanks, they have Muma and Cool Matt. Healers, they have Bonnie, Boink, and Raucus. So Raucus is a really good healer from FaZe. And I'm not sure if there's actually anyone else from FaZe. I don't recognize their roster so much. Bonnie or Boink, one of them might be, but I'm pretty sure both of them were F-Energy FE. Most of this team is former F-Energy FE, especially the tanks, Muma and Cool Matt. They seem to be the best tanks in the West. Some of the best tanks in the West at the very least. Jake is a very star-studded DPS. But however, Jake has his off days, and his off days are really bad. He's not a great player on his off days. So he's really dependent on his day. At least they have a lot more DPS to cover for him if he's off, I guess. Clockwork, I thought he was one of the weaker tracers in contenders, but hey, I might be wrong on that. I might just be completely wrong. I just thought Clockwork personally never impressed me much, and I was surprised to see that he made the Houston Outlaws, but hey, maybe he'll do good. I'm rooting for every team here. So Houston Outlaws, they have a lot of stars for the DPS that might carry them to a championship. I don't expect it, that's why they're number 4, but it could happen, and I can see it. Number 3, we have the Dallas Fuel. Their DPS, they have Taimu and Effect. For tanks, they have Coco and XQC. Flex players, they have Mickey and Seagull. Healers, they have Chipsogen, Harry Hook, and Custa. So for DPS, obviously everyone knows who Taimu is, and Effect is one of the tracer players that is considered a god in this game. Effect might just be the best tracer in the world. He's at least top 3, top 5. You can't argue about that. He's always talked about, like when you talk about the best tracers. He has to be in there. So the rest of their team, Coco is an aging player, I know. And this is the former Envious roster, plus Custa. And Seagull, technically. So yeah. And XQC, almost completely forgot about XQC. He wasn't on the original roster either. Coco, he's an aging tank. XQC is an up-and-coming young tank. So I'm not sure, like, if they want Coco teaching a little bit more to XQC. I really don't know. And XQC has been getting in a lot of off Overwatch League trouble. He's been getting in a lot of trouble on his stream, so I'm not sure how he's going to really perform on stage anymore. Maybe he'll do pretty good. Plus, I'm not sure about XQC's Rhyme. It's not bad, but I'm not sure if it's Overwatch League ready yet. Never know. We don't know. Mickey he's really good on the Diva, but I'm not sure how good he is on other heroes. Effect Zarya is a lot better than Mickey, so I'm not sure how much he's going to play. I'm not sure where he's really going to fit in. Seagull's an amazing flex player. Chips is one of the best, he might just be the best Ana in the West. He's really good, at least. He's one of the best Western healers, so they have a really good roster. Harry's one of the better Lucios. And Custa's a pretty damn good healer as well. They have a really good team, and they have the best team, I feel, best Western team to take down, or take the Overwatch League championship. I'm saying Western team, even though there is one team that's technically located in the West with non-Western players, and we'll get to them. But for now, number 2, I have the Seoul Dynasty. For their DPS, I have Bunny, Wicked, Munchkin, and Fleta. And I realized I stopped saying the records all these teams had. The records aren't really what's placing them. It's just how impressed I was in the preseason by them. Sorry I started with that and stopped, but it was just an internal thing. So yeah, Seoul Dynasty, their DPS is Bunny, Wicked, Munchkin, Fleta. Tanks, they have Miro and Cookie. Flexes, they have Zephyr, Guido, and Zunba. And healers, they have Ryu Jae Hong and Toby. They have possibly the best healer combination in the league. They can't ever sit Ryu Jae Hong or Toby though. They are too essential to Seoul's success. Bunny is a pretty good tracer too. He's one of the faster, and he seems to have movement down pretty well. And they're just all around a really good team. I'm looking forward to seeing Seoul perform. Personally, they're my least favorite team because I didn't like Lunatic Hive just because of how good they were. I always rooted for other teams because Lunatic Hive I always rooted for the underdogs to beat them. And same here, Seoul Dynasty is one of my least favorite teams, but I'm putting them up here high. I'm not trying not to be biased. I just really do feel like they're the second best team right now if number 1 can pull some stuff together, and we'll talk about that when I get there, which should be right now. Because I don't really need to talk about Seoul Dynasty because a lot of people have already done it already. There's a lot of videos on them. Number 1 is the London Spitfire. Their DPS players are Birdring, another tracer player that's always in the talk of being the best. Hureg, Rascal, and Prophet. Their tanks are Jester and Fissure. Flex players, they have Fury and Wuhal. And their healers are Bedosian, Nuss, Hagopune, and Closer. Sorry if I butchered any of the names. Some of them are not Western names. So this is the former Kungdu Panthera roster and the former GC Busan roster. So there's not much to say. I mean, that was the first place and the third place teams from Apex last season. There's not a lot to say. GC Busan is one of the best teams in the world, and they didn't show up at the preseason, but I feel like that's just some communication issues. They might get over that. This might not be the right meta for them, and that's where Panthera comes in. When the meta changes, they have two full teams that are better at different things. So they seem like a really strong roster coming into this. They're going to be hard to beat. They're going to have some, maybe in the beginning is the best time to take wins off them, but once the season progresses, I feel like they're going to be a powerhouse. I feel like they're going to be one of the strongest teams, struggle a little bit in the beginning, but by the end, they'll be one of the best. And yeah, that's my playoff predictions too, right there, before the season and my power rankings. I predict the playoffs. The Atlantic winner will be London, Pacific winner will be Seoul, and the 4 runner-ups will be Dallas, Houston, LA Valiant, and New York Excelsior. So yeah, there's my power rankings. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys hopefully today with my Shanghai Dragons analysis video. See ya!
You